I couldn't find my rhythm. You feel me? I couldn't find my rhythm until I realized that the steps backwards were a part of the dance.
I want to say something. A prize, motherfucker.
You know, to be honest with you, I really don't know exactly how to start this episode because there's a lot. There's a lot in here. You know what I mean? I'm coming in, eyes swollen, head heavy, you know. And the only thing that I asked for was clarity. And I really want to just start this off. I want to start this episode off with where I began. You feel me? And where I began was a goal. All right. And fun fact of the day, this goal has been the same goal for the past 6 years. So when you ask me, like, what was my New Year's resolution? My New Year's resolution was honestly the same thing that I had in 25. It was the same thing that I had in 24. It's the same thing that I've always had since 2020. And I remember when they sent me to TRS, you feel me? Like when they sent me to TRS and I sat and they asked us, they said like, hey, what are your plans when you get out of the military? Some people said that they were going to be doing exactly what they were doing in the military, just in the civilian world. You know, others said firefighter, others said to be a cop. I know what I was doing in the military. I'm an HE mechanic. Do I want to work on tractors and trams when I get out of the military? Absolutely fucking not. No, I don't. Okay, no shade to anybody that's doing that. You feel me? And when I say that, please understand, there's money in that field. I just know that just because there's money in that field, that doesn't mean that my heart could be in that field. You feel me? I knew for a fact that I wouldn't want to wake up every single day doing that. I knew that. I knew that I didn't want to be a firefighter. I knew I didn't want to be a cop. I knew I didn't. But at the exact same time, I also didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. And I knew that if I didn't figure this shit out, I was going to end up back in Detroit. And I was going to work at Chrysler. I was going to work at Ford. I was going to work at some fucking plant. And I just spent 10 years in the military fucking off. And that's exactly where my mindset is at. And once again, no shade to anybody that does that, but in that frustration of trying to figure out exactly what I wanted to do once I got out of the military is what birthed where we're at right now. Because I said it. I was like, look, man, like I want to be a fucking speaker and I want to be a podcaster. You see what I'm saying? And that's exactly the steps that I've been taking since then. So when you listen to this show, when you listen to these episodes, understand, man, like you're not just listening to a podcast. You're literally listening to my exit plan or my retirement plan or what I'm going to be doing in the next chapter of my life after the military. You're listening to it. And with that, man, I swear I better not fucking cry on this episode. And with that, I pray on this every night. You feel me? I pray and I ask God to watch over my family, watch over my fans, watch over my family, watch over my friends, allow me to become a better man, become a better Marine. Help me make the right goals, make the right decisions. Allow me to be able to take this podcast to the next level. And I ask that every fucking night. And in those prayers, it came clarity. You feel me? It came clarity. Now, I will say this real quick, okay? Because when we ask for clarity for things, you feel me? We got to be really careful what we asking for. You see what I'm saying? Like, we really got to be real careful what we ask for, all right? Because I ask for clarity. And the thing is that when you ask for clarity, are you going to be prepared for what you see? You see what I'm saying? Let me rephrase that. Are you going to act on what you see? You see what I'm saying? Like if you ask to say like, man, show me who's right for me, who's wrong for me. If you see who's right for you and who's wrong for you, are you going to do something about it? If you ask to say like, hey man, like show me the right path that I'm supposed to go down. If you see that fucking path, are you going to go down it? You see what I'm saying? Like I asked for clarity to help me be able to take this podcast to the next level, to help me be able to do the thing that I want to do once I get out of the military. And I saw it. And I was not happy. I wasn't happy. You know what I mean? I saw the gaps. You feel me? And I'll tell whoever's listening right now, when you see gaps, right? Like when you ask for the clarity and you see the gaps ain't the problem. All right. Because here's the thing is that when we cooking something, we always ask somebody like, hey, hey, you mind tasting this? Because you know that your taste buds are biased. If you typing up an email, you're going to ask for a second set of eyes because you know for a fact that your eyes are biased. You see what I'm saying? So you want to have somebody else take a look at it to make sure that you're going down the right path. You see what I'm saying? Or this is constructed the correct way. If you are doing anything, you're always going to get someone else's opinion, not because you're unsure of it, but you realize that I'm biased. You feel me? I'm too close to this. And because I'm too close to this, I can't see everything. And that's exactly what those gaps showed me, that I was too close to this. And when I saw it, man, I had to act. So first things first, what did I do? All right, I finally hired a manager. Okay, I have finally hired a manager. That's so crazy to say out loud that I hired a manager. You see what I'm saying? And sitting down with my manager, sitting down with the coach, I made the decision that now it's time that I incorporate. So as you listen, this is the first episode of the year where Meech Speaks is also Meech Speaks LLC. You feel me? Meech Speaks is not just who I am on social media. It's my fucking brand now. Meech Speaks is a lot more than what it started when I first made the name as a joke towards two coaches who were trying to like tell me how to fucking show up on social media. It's a lot more than that now. And with that brought organization. It brought structure because now everything had to get consolidated. Fun fact of the day. Did you know that if you typed in Meech Speaks, you couldn't even find the podcast? Couldn't even find the podcast. I say it calm now, but when I fucking found that out, my mouth hit the fucking floor. I was upset. You see what I'm saying? Because I felt like I was making so much progress, but nobody could find me. I would show up as a guest on everybody's show, but nothing was landing to my show. So with that, if there's structure, there's consolidation, there has to be organization. So if you're looking at this right now, you're not tripping. The cover art, the podcast, and anything that's associated to me is named Meech Speaks. It is. All right. And if you know me, then you know my frustration comes from having to restart over. You know what I mean? Because that's exactly what I fucking feel like. I feel like I'm restarting over. All right. And I tell anybody who's listening to this because I know this is the first Monday of the new year. And I know for some, you've been trying to take this to the next level, and it seems like the next level feels like you're starting all over. And that's exactly where I feel, because I swore that I would never change my name again. I swore that I would stay consistent. I swore that I would do all of these things, but it seems like all of these things that I'm fucking doing were all over the place, and I needed structure. I needed organization. And that's exactly where I'm at. So with that being said, man, this episode, is this a New Year's episode? 100% it is. It is a New Year's episode. But this episode is for a certain type of individual because I don't know who needs to hear it, but I know for a fact that if you're feeling this frustration, right? Like if you're feeling this frustration of I've made so much progress and now I feel like I'm taking steps backwards. I asked for clarity and now I see the clarity. I see the gaps. I see the issues and now I have to act on it. I feel like as if like I feel demoralized. I feel like I haven't been doing shit. And if you feel the way that I feel, then this episode is for you. Now, first things first, where does this frustration come from? Where does this frustration come from? And I will tell y'all right now that the frustration really comes from a space of retroactive clarity. Okay. Now that retroactive clarity, that's you judging your old eyes on your newfound self-awareness. Okay. That's what I'm doing right now. All right. I'm not even going to say this is what I did. This is what I'm doing right now. Like the moment is happening right now. And I will tell you that I'm judging my old eyes, my old vision, my old aspirations with my newfound self-awareness. In 2020, I didn't even know that I would need a fucking manager. I thought that I just needed to just show up and post shit. I didn't know that I can't have, like if I'm going to have my name here, this got to be associated to this. I didn't even know that these were connected. I didn't know a lot of things when I first started. And to be honest with you, even as I progressed in so many different fields that there was never a moment where it was like, oh shit, this is fucked up. And I bring that up, man, because it's so easy to allow that retroactive clarity to demoralize you, to discourage you, to make you feel like you've made so much progress and you haven't done anything. It's easy to make you feel like that. But I will tell you this right now. This is newfound self-awareness. This is awareness that you acquired 2 days ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. You feel me? A good example of this. You asked for clarity. You said, God, please, like somebody, please help me. I need to see who's right for me and who's wrong for me. And now you see who's right for you and who's wrong with you. And you see the people that's wrong with you and they've been there for too long. And you like, how the fuck did I not see this? How the hell did I not see this? That's because you didn't have the self-awareness for it. Another example of this, man, like you done hired a coach. You said, you know what? I want to take my fitness to the next level. You've been in the gym this entire time, gaining experience. You know the staff. You shaking hands. You feel me? You don't feel uncomfortable in the gym, but you mad because you have not gained the results that you should have been because you show up every single day. And now you bring this coach in. You see what I'm saying? You bring this coach in and he tell you your diet is shit. You're not working out in accordance with how your body is. And you like, dog, what the fuck have I been doing? And you frustrated because you feel like you wasted a lot of money. You feel like you wasted a lot of time. And you mad because if you would have known this then you probably could have fixed it. And I'm going to tell you right now, even if you would have known this, right? Like, even if you would have known this, and I'll say it, even if you would have known this, Demetrius, would you would have incorporated? If you would have known that, you know, your names weren't matching, would you had fixed it? Matter of fact, not even if your names would have been matching. If you would have known that it was better to just consolidate everything because you do actually have a podcast name, you just didn't really take it serious. Would you have done anything about it? Some we say yes because that's hindsight, but back then probably not. Because you don't know what was going on in your life then. Everything was still new, so you didn't know what to exactly trust. The second reason why I'm probably frustrated, honest to God, man, and I'm gonna be honest with you, is because I feel like I was moving without aiming. You feel me? I feel like I was putting out nothing but just volume. I'm talking about boom, 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 everywhere. But I feel like I wasn't hitting anything. I made a little bit of progress here and there, but I feel like I wasn't hitting anything. And in that moment right there, you feel frustration. You feel it because you like, dog, like I've been putting out nothing but fucking heat. I've been making nothing but strides in the right direction. And you're telling me that I was never going to get to my destination because I've been going in the wrong direction this entire time? Like when you say that out loud, like it's frustrating because it's like, oh, what do you mean I've been going in the wrong direction? What do you mean that all these strides, all of these monumental achievements was the wrong direction? That's like you on a soccer field and you done, juked out the whole team just to kick the ball in your goal. That's where the frustration is. And third, man, I think the frustration really comes from the fact that you made so much progress, but no results. And that kind of alludes to the second one. You have been making so many strides in the right direction, and you felt like it was the right direction, just to find out that you have been going in the wrong direction this entire time. And it goes all the way back, dude. Like it goes all the way back. And maybe I'm bitching in this episode. Maybe, I'm trying to give myself grace in this episode. But the reality is that the awareness that I have now, I didn't have then. You know what I mean? And you can pray and you can ask and you can beg for clarity. But the thing is once you gain that clarity, you got to understand, man, like you gonna feel a certain way because you see it differently now. And now that you see it differently, the fuck are you going to do about it? And I'll tell you this right now. Some people, they going to act on it immediately. We're going to fix this, man. I can finally see exactly what's going on. I'm going to fix it. Others, man, we might not fix it because we don't want to feel like we taking a step backwards. And what's so crazy about that is last week somebody sent me a clip, right? Like they sent me this clip. And they said this sounded like something that would have came straight from your podcast. And I listened to it, and I'm gonna tell you right now, man, like when I heard it, you feel me? When I heard it, shit hit me. Because he said, I couldn't find my rhythm. You feel me? I couldn't find my rhythm until I realized that the steps backwards were a part of the dance. I don't think y'all hearing me. He said, I didn't find my rhythm until I realized that the steps backwards were a part of the you see what I'm saying? Because now we dancing now. Now we dancing. Because you know that in a dance, you got to take a couple of steps backwards, but you're going to have to come forward. You see what I'm saying? And you didn't find your rhythm until you realize that them steps backwards was a part of the dance. And when I heard that and when I absorbed that, you feel me? And when I understood that, I realized that everything that's done happened right now, you feel me? Everything that done happened right now, okay? Yes, do I feel like I'm taking steps backwards? But at the exact same time, these steps backwards are necessary for me to be able to find my rhythm. You see what I'm saying? These steps backwards are necessary because the foundation might be shot. You feel me? These steps backwards, come on, stay with me now, stay with me. These steps backwards are needed because if I don't have these, I'm never going to make it to where I need to go because I'm going to constantly keep dealing with little shit along the way. So these steps backwards were needed to find that rhythm. And once again, I know I said this episode was for me, but I don't know who need to hear this because I know for a fact that somebody that's coming into this year right now with the aspiration to take it to the next level. You see what I'm saying? Like they want to take it to the next level, and now they feel demoralized, they feel frustrated, they feel like, you see what I'm saying? Because they taking steps backwards. They finally asked for all that clarity and they got that clarity, and now they feel like, yo, what the fuck have I been doing? Not realizing they was too close to it. And I bring all of that up, man, because you're not the only one that feel like that. You're not the only one that feel like that. And I want to say this, man. Them setbacks, those was needed. You feel me? Them setbacks is needed because come on now, you know how a bow and arrow work. You got to pull that bow back to launch that arrow. You got to come back in order to get that momentum. All right? You know how that dance work. You know, one step back, step forward. You see what I'm saying? I was gonna do the cha-cha slide. I almost fucked myself up. But you know that you got to take them steps backwards. And I say this coming into this episode, all right? That we can be frustrated. All right? You have every right to be frustrated because you didn't know. But at the exact same time, now that you know, are we gonna dwell on it or are we gonna fix it and move forward? And with that being said, what's going on, everybody? I'm Demetrius Thickman, also known as Me Speaks, and welcome back to another episode of the Me Speaks podcast. If this episode resonated with you, don't forget to like this episode, subscribe to this episode, share this episode, and most importantly, send this episode to somebody who needs to hear it the most. All right, because this podcast deserves to grow just as much as we do.
And just like that, another extraordinary thought left this ordinary mind. I hope you enjoyed this episode half as much as I enjoyed making it. Don't forget to head on over to your favorite streaming platform, whether that's Apple Podcasts or Spotify Podcasts, and leave this podcast an honest review because this podcast deserves to grow just as much as we do.